welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Farming Simulator 2019. My name's Nzone Gaming, and like I said, we're back again for another episode. Alright, as we load into the gameplay here, you can see Courseplay, version 6, scanning the fields. Usually takes a little bit to scan field 11 here, so not too worried as of yet. The one thing I will say that we did not have last time, we've kept the chickens. The chickens are here. But now we have seasons mode. And boy, let me tell you, it's a beast. Okay, so we're going to have to change some of the settings in seasons mode. Obviously, I don't know what's going on with the game right now. It's taking forever to recognize Field 11 of Courseplay. So, bear with me here. Like I said, it takes forever to load. But I'll go on with my explanation of seasons at the time, and I'll get more detailed as we get into the gameplay. I do believe that in some of my earlier episodes of Farm Sim 19, when I was on the PS4, I think I used seasons mode. Great, here we go. We're ready. Okay, seasons mode. This is the overlay, what you can see, what seasons mode runs, how it runs, all that stuff, right? Okay. Here in the settings, this is where things are going to get crazy. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn snow off because I hate snow. Not in real life, but in the game, it makes everything 10 times more difficult. Crop moisture, I will keep on. Okay, that means we cannot thresh or harvest our crops when they have excessive moisture of over 20%. Right? Okay, so now, season length. This is what's going to be important. The people that made the seasons mod recommend 9-day seasons at 15 times or 5 times speed. But through personal experimentation and playthrough, I've discovered that 9-day seasons are actually quite long to go ahead and get things done. While as on the other end of things, 3 days is almost not enough time depending on how many fields you have. And when you get into the growing stages of the crop, how it performs and how it looks will really depend, and you get a longer, shorter harvest window depending on which way you go. The other option is a 24-day season, or a 21, or an 18, or a 15, or a 12, multiples of 3. The 24-day season would be great if you had a real-time server that ran in real time, in real life, and did everything like that. That is not my case. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it in the middle of 3 and 9, which happens to be 6. We can get the introduction at the beginning. No, we don't really need it. Temperature is in Fahrenheit. Great. We got through the settings. That is honestly the most important part about seasons at the very beginning. You have to make sure you get the settings right, because if you happen to finish planting and you want to change the day length, you are going to throw your crops way off. And even when you go to change it after playing through a year, they always say when you don't have crops in the ground and when you're finished with harvest is the best time during the winter to change your season length, because it will disrupt the fewest amount of things in the game. Next, crop rotation planner. Absolutely no idea how it works. I've tried to read about it. It's super confusing, so I'm not even going to try. The economy. This is the go-to spot for learning how, when, where to sell grain. So we're going to be dealing with corn and soybeans, so you can see that corn has the high prices, second day of summer, second, third-ish day of winter. So that is going to be when the grain place, obviously not a very technical term, is going to have the highest price for our crop. And then, of course, beans, their max day is second day of summer. So that's probably going to be when we're selling as much as we can from the last harvest, especially corn-wise. And then, as you can see, any other crop that you want to go through, even if you want to sell eggs, what day the eggs are going to be at the highest value, what day the wool's going to be at the highest value, even the milk. I mean, there's anything that you're going to go ahead and sell. Even the cows have kind of an economy for selling and different things like that. So it does get really detailed as far as the economy, and that's again why I really like seasons mode, and I've probably said that if I had it on for the PlayStation, so now I feel like I'm being very repetitive. Moving on. Chickens, still got them. They need food. That's going to be first order of business. Once we get through all of this, we need to make sure that our chickens have food, all 50 of them. We got to make sure they live because we want to be good people. Right now, they're currently weighing in at 4.7 pounds, all 50 of them. They're 0.4 years old. They're mature at 80% health. I'm pretty sure if we give them food, that'd make it a lot better. But the pen is clean, so what you gonna do? This this page, I was looking at the bottom where there's temperatures. This page is the crop info, as it says. All I'm really doing here is telling you what's on. There's frost resistance, drought resistance per the season that you put in. So the seasons I'm using are the Nebraska seasons. So if you haven't figured out by now, I'm from Nebraska. There you go. That's the only clues I'm given as to where I live, unless you're one of my friends, and then of course you know. So this is the frost resistance. Not really going to be wanting to put the seed in the ground when there's frost or when there's drought. So the potential for frost damage increases as air temperatures fall below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, below freezing. Potential for drought damage increases when the soil water content is below 12%. Use the measurement tool to monitor the soil water content. This is the weather forecast. It is going to tell you it's got what type of weather you're going to get, what temperatures, max, min, average. Very helpful if you're trying to figure out what crops you want to plant, which we'll get to on the next page. And of course, I'm going in backwards order because I like to be different. You can see your precipitation percentage. So obviously that Thursday, which is 2 days in game from now, is going to be our best bet to get moisture in the ground. It also might happen to be one of the days that we begin planting, if not the day after. You can also see the wind speed there, so the wind really picks up when you get a percent chance of rain, and then you can see the drying potential. So this is going to be something that we might want to try watching, especially once we get a crop in the ground, because we want to make sure that the crop doesn't dry out too soon, or that it's not going to dry out enough when we get to harvest. The only crop that I can guarantee that we can get in, regardless of what percentage of moisture it is the soybeans. Because I have the modded bean header for John Deere. It's the 645 FD, and it has the wind system on front. So the wind system recognizes and it does something because it's a mod and allows us to harvest over 20%. It's amazing. That's kind of a cheat code, but I honestly don't care. It's helped me out when I've gotten into tough situations. The next thing we have is the calendar here. And so this, you can see these blue numbers right here on our left next to what crop type is going to be the minimum temperature the ground has to be before you can plant into it, right? So in order for our soybeans and corn to be successful, we're going to need to plant when the minimum temperature is either 50 degrees or above. So if we go back and look at our weather forecast, see it all kind of ties in, you can see that our best bet where it stays consistently above 50 is Saturday and Sunday, 57 and 59 degrees. So what we need to do is we need to figure out how many days we made it. We need to work together. So today's Tuesday in game. So Tuesday, then you have Wednesday as 1 day, Thursday, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and 5 days. So on the 4th and 5th day of this month or season, which is right in here, is going to be where you can start planting your soybeans and corn. And as you can see, the graph does a pretty dang good job of kind of telling you where and when you can't and where and when you need to have it harvested before it's going to die due to frost. Obviously, corn can last a little bit longer, so we'll have a little 2 days of leeway towards the end of growing season, so we'll definitely do soybeans first. But the planting seasons of both soybeans and corn happen around the same time, so it'll come down to basically whatever we want to plant in a certain field at a certain time. Obviously, you have sugarcane grass and all that other stuff there. Okay, we've gotten through seasons mode, and it was probably a better introduction than I gave it the first time. So, little status update on the fields. We're going to go ahead and look at this. Okay. So, we own a lot of fields. 10, 12, 13, 4, 3, and obviously no particular order, 2, 14, 15, and 16. I tried to pick out the square fields because my mind likes to work in squares. And it just makes more sense when harvesting to set up a course, play course, and everything like that. So those are the fields that we're going to have to tend to. Okay. There are going to be fields that we're going to have to cultivate, which is good because the ground is not frozen. If the ground was frozen up here by... Whoa. I don't know how to get my mouse up. Okay. Up by the cloud on the top, there would be a frozen snow symbol ground. It'd be pretty obvious. It's a pretty obvious symbol. So we need to finish, it looks like, cultivating a little strip of field number 2. And my guess is, yeah, we have our 8400 out there with the 2TX Super. Okay. We will get that going. That'll be one of the things we can set going, and then follow up on the chickens because they're not going to die quite yet. 10, 12, 13, 4 is all cultivated, so we don't have to worry about those fields. You will see number 3 is dark, even though we own it. My guess is that's a grass field. I'm absolutely correct, and it's on the first stage of being ready to harvest. However, you can see why I tend to keep the grass off, because the grass is everywhere. So we'd just be seeing a bunch of annoying things. So I turn that off and go back to this, and it only shows me fields. Great. The other page we can look at is contracts. My guess is if we get bored, I'm going to refresh the contracts. There's still harvesting to be done. On what field? Field 1? Okay, field 1's harvested. So we're going to have to deal with that later and get some updated contracts that actually we could do. But anyway, we're going to have 14, 15, and 16 are going to be the big ones that we're going to want to make sure we get brain fart, that we get cultivated, as well as finishing up 2. So I'm going to go ahead and not walk. I'm just going to select the tractor from here. Hop in. And the nice thing is I created a play course for it. Also, you can see we have the stubble cultivator modification added as well. So we're going to go ahead, and since it saved its course, it can drive from the nearest waypoint. We can hit continue. It'll finish on the path that it was already doing. Everything will be hunky-dory, and it doesn't lose the progress of the field and have to start over, which, if you're me, is really great. As you can see, these other fields need done, and so that's what we're going to go ahead and get to. The other thing I realize is some people say that their course play is actually sometimes in kilometers an hour. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, because see now it jumps up to 52 and the tractor does not have a top speed of 52 miles an hour. I'm going to go ahead and do the sensible thing and turn everything up. That way we're not worried about maximum speed. There we go. That should have just done that in the first place. So now we're not worried about it taking slow turns and slow reversing and all that, and I think I'm just going to let it go ahead and do its thing. I don't see any reason why not to just let it go. So now we can go over here to our pickup. It has our Thunder Creek diesel and DEF fuel. We can go ahead and park that somewhere reasonable. So probably near the shed, I would say is a pretty reasonable spot. Okay. Quick explanation. I have absolutely no idea why that tree is in the middle of my shed. Do I know how to remove it? Haven't quite figured that out yet. Do I want to remove it? I don't know. It looks kind of cool. When I go up to it with a chainsaw, like I have tried, because I'm not going to do it now, it will not cut down. So I don't know what we're going to do about it. For now, we're going to leave it. The next thing we're going to do real quick is we're going to check our crop storage. We have some sunflowers in storage. We might as well go sell those when we get a chance. And then we have our soybeans and corn from harvest that we're going to hold on to. And just a little bit of grass. I think that's grass. A little bit of grass that we're going to go ahead and... I think we were using it for the animals, so we'll get into more detail on that later. I guess I also realize you can sort through highest prices on that. We all learn something new every day, don't we? Okay. Let's go. What we need to find out, we need to hop in here. Gonna hit my little button here. So, and of course I hit the wrong button. It autosaves, which is an okay thing. Obviously I have it set. Wheat or barley is what the chicken's gonna take. We're gonna go ahead, hop out. Set our deliver point to right there. Go to the store and buy a couple bags of premium chicken feed. So I'm gonna buy 4 of them for the current moment. Not that we're gonna use all of them, but just so we have them. We're gonna drive the gator over here. I'm going to initiate lumberjack strength. Oh, yikes. My hope was I could pour it into the back of here for easier distribution to the chickens. And clearly I used up a little under 50% of it. So now that's full, we're going to go ahead and take it. It's a very small tank in the back, but I'm not going to do anything about it right now because our chickens are hungry, so we must feed them. We'll swing around, back up, and I know I'm cheating because I'm using third person perspective, but there you go. There is some food for our chickens. We must go get more. I guess the other good thing that I'm just now realizing as we go back for our production, it gives us an estimated food required. 4,464 liters a year. We bought 4,000, so we're in the ballpark. Can I just hit R? I can just hit R and reload. I'm a dummy. Alright. Makes life so much easier when it's super unrealistic and very millennialized. Or whatever generation I happen to fall under. I also noticed there's no more water for the chickens, and I don't know why. I feel like we should investigate here pretty soon because, as you can see, there's a blank part where the water probably used to be. So that is concerning, but it's also, at the same time, one less thing for me to worry about messing up. And this should be about all that we need to... I think it only has a little bit more room. Yeah, so it's 1,000 liters to fill the trough for the animals. That'll fill it for a while. So I haven't seen our cultivator yet. But I haven't also gotten any... Oh, he's down there in the distance. Like I was going to say, I haven't seen any messages either, so might as well drive out there. See what's going on. We've got speed to do it, so. That should be his last pass down here. He looks to be doing a good job keeping that stubble on the ground. Kind of follow along here. Watch it in action. Try to be the best cameraman I can be. There, that's better. But anyway, he's going to finish up his job. We are going to go on to the next task. We're going to have to go ahead and sign off for now. My name is Nathan. This has been Nzone Gaming. And until next time, we'll see you later.